When I was a little kid living on a dirt road in Mississippi, a red dirt road, as a matter of fact, I was the one that was always playing the teacher. And I was the teacher. And if we were playing house, I was the mother. Even if I was the younger girl, I would have to be the mother over everybody else. So some people call that bossy.
Oprah Winfrey didn't start with a talk show empire, right? She was in really dire life circumstances, but she had this vision for her life and for her talk shows to live a life beyond her current circumstances. And she is quoted as saying, create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. Now, why should I or why should you have a life vision? Well, without a life vision, we are missing all these different opportunities that we don't know that existed. The sad part is that 80% of the population lives their lives without having a clear idea what their life should be about. And then most of them realize it when it's all too late. I don't want to be that. I think you don't want to be that either, right? Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, I cannot be bothered to think about a long lifetime vision. I'm way too busy. I'm too exhausted. I got too many things on my plate. Well, in some way they are right, because thinking long term is more energy consuming for your brain. We are not built for that per se. But if you sit down and sketch out what your life should be about, you have a clear direction. And with a clear direction, you remove uncertainty. And if you remove uncertainty, you remove stress. Now think about the magic that this does for you. You can live more focused, prioritize things that really matter for you, live happier with a purpose. And then the true magic happens, because as you're on this path to build towards what you really want to achieve, you will start to change. You will create time and space to actually make the extra effort to go there. You will achieve things you had no idea you're capable of. And that's the beautiful magic. I've seen it time and time again. And for me right now, there is this kind of moment where I want to sketch out a new vision for my life. So I want to take you along that you can do the same, or actually check back on what your life vision is. And if you don't have one, let's build one. Let's rewind for a second. What actually is the difference between a life vision and a list of goals? Did you ever try to build an IKEA shelf without instructions and you end up with a bunch of screws and you don't know actually where they went to or what you should do with them? It's a little bit like that. If you just stack on goals upon goals, you might miss a few things. A life vision is a vivid, inspiring picture of the future you want to create. It's not just what you want to achieve, but about who you want to become, the life you want to live, and the impact you want to have on others' lives. The contribution maybe that you want to make to society. On the other hand, goals are the stepping stones that get you there. Think of your life as the destination and your goals as the roadmap leading you to that point. So here's the key difference. Goals are quantifiable and they're time-bound. They have deadlines and measurable outcomes. While your life vision is more broader and more encompassing. It's the emotional foundation upon which your goals are built. When you have a compelling life vision, goals gain context and meaning. When you have a compelling vision, your goals become a lot more specific and meaningful because they fulfill your why. If you just stack goals upon goals, eventually that can be very exhausting because they don't fill this inner emotional gap that we might experience otherwise. We want to work for something bigger and better that makes us feel great, and not just for the short-term reward. Now, on the flip side, if you just have goals without a vision, they can lead to burnout and frustration and a feeling of emptiness. Did you ever had that experience that you achieve something and you think, man, I should have felt really good about that, and yet didn't happen? That normally is a sign when there is no emotional why behind fulfilling that goal. It was just something that you made up for yourself on paper and it's not fulfilling. That's why it's so much better to have a vision behind it, because then it will feel better, guaranteed.
I swear to you, I've wanted to be a writer as long as I knew there was such a thing as a writer.
J.K. Rowling's life vision, for example, was not just about writing books. It was about creating stories that would inspire people and resonate with them all over the world. And then her daily goals included to write daily, find a publisher, and build out that Harry Potter universe that we all know so well by now. Now, another huge benefit that you get from having a vision is that you will be able to focus and prioritize, like what is important to you. Let's just imagine that you give yourself 1 year, and within this 1 year, you would decide, does it serve my bigger vision, yes or no? If it doesn't, I'm not going to do it. If it does, I will. Now, imagine that version of you compared to the other version of you where you don't do that. Now, can you guess which one would make more progress over a year? Pretty obvious, right?
If you choose wisely, you can save yourself an enormous amount of work versus trying to do everything. And you can really put energy into making those new emerging technologies be great on your platform, rather than just okay because you're spreading yourself too thin.
There's this quote from Steve Jobs where he said, "I'm actually as proud of the things we haven't done as the things I have done. Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things."
Well, I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you,
Another famous example is Warren Buffett, who is known to be like laser focused on his goals, and he only makes a few key decisions every year. But those are decisions that matter. So cut away all the fluff. See what is important for your vision, and then stay the course. If we cut away all this noise that distracts us, we have less decisions to make. Life becomes easier, right? Now you might say, well, if having a vision is so great, how come not everybody has one? And that's a fair point. Princeton University actually found that thinking about long-term goals is a lot harder for our brain. It's processed in the prefrontal cortex, which is right at the front of our head. And we are not actually wired for that. We are more wired towards immediate needs and immediate survival. So long-term thinking wasn't really on the list. It was more important to get food in our stomach and escape our immediate dangers. Here's the thing. Our brain is not a fixed set in stone variable. We can always change through neuroplasticity, which means like the more we start thinking about different goals or adopt a different way of thinking, the easier it is to think about these things over time because we build these pathways in our brain. Our brain adapts. So the choice is up to us. We can just stay in the daily rut and try to make ends meet, or we build a future for ourselves. Which one are you?
When I look back at this and myself, how did I get so fanatic about bodybuilding, and how did I end up training 5 hours a day? And why did I enjoy working out and torturing myself? Why did I look forward to the next 1,000 reps of sit-ups? Why did I look forward to doing more reps with 600 pounds in a squat? And then I realized it was because I had a goal. I had a vision. It was right in front of me. It was fantastic. I saw myself as another Reg Park, my idol, on that stage in London at the Mr. Universe contest and also winning just like him.
Now, why is it that a vision feels so much better than just like having a to-do list that you tick off? The interesting thing from neuroscience perspective is that these larger visions tickle and trickle and tease our intrinsic motivational centers in our brain, which results in keeping us motivated by releasing these feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin that keep us motivated and look for more and more gains because we feel that we are fulfilling something. We are fulfilling something bigger. It's this internal reward system that becomes part of the play. And this means also that you are much more likely to stay committed and overcome difficulties because you're emotionally invested into the bigger picture. So ask yourself, are you right now building your life according to a bigger vision, or are you just drifting by? Well, if you don't have a life vision, let's build one.